Have you ever wanted to take revenge against somebody who hurt you? Well, that's exactly the case with the characters from these next 10 JRPGs you're about to see today. So welcome to my top 10 dark stories about revenge in JRPGs. And no, this is not a re-upload. This is a full remake of a video that I did a year and a half ago, destroyed by the algorithm. So I want to take revenge against the damn algorithm! Let's begin! Number 10, Phantasy Star. Yeah, believe it or not, one of the very first JRPGs ever made focused on revenge. Not that much though, but it was the primary motivation for Alice, the main character. You see, her brother gets killed by King Lassig, so she starts a whole journey alongside other characters to defeat him. I know I've talked trash about this game before because I can't stand playing it, but I've never said that it was bad. I just can't get into the first-person navigation through its horrible dungeons. Either way, it's such a historically important game and the beginning of one of the oldest JRPG franchises ever. Hard to believe a dark topic like revenge was the main theme of it. Number 5. This Gaia 5, Alliance of Vengeance. Vengeance is something that we often see in almost every Gaia game, as they're all dark RPGs, but with a big sense of humor. Granted, they're comedies, but at least this Gaia 5 still fits the topic. I mean, it deeply revolves around it. You can already and easily tell this game will be about revenge, considering its title. It focuses on Killia, a wandering and powerful demon with a bunch of dark secrets. He has a very personal vendetta against an overlord called Void Dark, so he joins Seraphina. She also wishes to assassinate Void Dark for her own reasons, which means their goals align. This Gaia 5 is the latest entry in the main series of this strategy RPG franchise, a silly adventure but still about revenge. Number 8, Draenor Guard. One of the darkest action RPGs ever made is the very first Draenor Guard on the PS2. I wanted to pick Draenor Guard 3 for this video, however, once you reach the climax you realize it wasn't exactly about revenge. The first Draenor Guard though revolves around solely on the main character's vengeance. Hatred drives forward Kame on his bloody quest to exact revenge against the entire empire. Not to stop it, nope, just to absolutely destroy it. Upon protecting his sister, he is forced into a pact with a dragon called Angelus. Of course, games like these always end up involving all sorts of dramas, with one thing leading to another, so it's not 100% about Kain's revenge. But since he is the main character and that's exactly what his motivation is, I couldn't help myself from including this weird-ass game in the list. Number 7, Trinity, Souls of Zelo. Here is yet another action RPG, one that is extremely underrated and unknown, exclusive to the PlayStation 3. It belongs to a little franchise that was never released outside Japan, which goes back to PS1, PS2 and PSP. This is the only game we've ever gotten localized. The story revolves around Arius, a half-elf who wants to kill the Emperor. It turns out this bastard got his son's wife killed while pregnant and then, to make matters worse, kills him during a battle. Arius, while still a kid, witnesses the whole thing as he makes his escape with his mother and half-brother. Many years later, he's a gladiator who has been training himself to one day face off against the Emperor and exact his revenge. Yeah, that about sums it all up. Great game, great action here, very addictive to play, and also with other characters involved with obviously their own reasons. I strongly recommend this hidden gem on the PS3, especially if you're looking for dark games about revenge. Number 6. Valkyrie Profile, Covenant of the Plume. Well, this game is surprisingly dark considering what's it about, the infamous spin-off of the great Valkyrie Profile series exclusive to the Nintendo DS. A strategy RPG that's brutally hard and unforgiving, especially since you are forced to use the plume to sacrifice your allies in order to move forward. This all goes back to Wilfred's deep hatred against Lenneth Valkyrie, who was the main heroine in the first game. He hates Lenneth because she took his father as an Einherjar, indirectly destroying his family. He makes a pact with the goddess Hel to become powerful enough so he can one day avenge his family. Weird, huh? A game about a guy that wants to kill our beloved Lenneth? And guess what? At least the story here kicks ass! It's really good and very well written. So if you're willing to put up with its bullshit difficulty, you'll get one of the absolute best stories on a JRPG for the Nintendo DS. All about revenge. Number 5. Xenoblade Chronicles. Yet another game that initially focuses on revenge but then goes on into all different motivations. The point is that Shulk swears to avenge the people killed in his colony by the Mekon army, especially a certain character that dies very early in the game. So Shulk now discovers that he has the power to wield the Monado, a legendary sword that he now needs to exact his revenge. Okay, this isn't exactly a dark game or anything of the sort, nor are some of the titles to come in this list, but this video is about RPG revenge stories, and Xenoblade Chronicles totally fits the bill. The entire game may not be about Shulk's revenge, but that's the initial motivation of the main character in this cult classic JRPG. Number 4. Valkyrie Revolution. Another appreciated action RPG for modern systems that totally does not deserve the hate. Okay, I admit the battle mechanics have some serious issues, but I didn't play, beat and love this game for that. The story here is the main reason to enjoy Valkyrie Revolution properly. These 5 characters, including the protagonist Amleth, plan an entire war between 2 nations, and all to take revenge on the Emperor because 10 years ago, he and his generals burned down the orphanage where they grew up. They also kidnapped Maria, their beloved caretaker and only motherly figure they ever met. The Emperor's goal? Unleash the almighty Valkyria with the biggest tits ever. Never mind that. This game is one of those with 70% story and 30% gameplay, so be warned that you'll get a lot of cutscenes and dialogue during your playthrough. In my opinion though, it's totally worth it, as it is one of the best stories ever written about revenge I've ever seen in a JRPG. Number 3. Baten Kaitos, Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean. While this game is yet another one that loses its revenge touch after a while, half of it you'll be rooting for Callus on his quest. He plans to avenge his grandfather and his little brother, both having died at the hands of one of the generals of the Empire. Then he meets Shelha, and after many events, strong character development and a very important plot twist, his revenge stops being the main topic. Whatever the case, this highly unique turn-based RPG with its legendary card-based battle system is totally worth a try, as it is a masterpiece on the GameCube. Story, focusing or not on vengeance, is also extremely well written by legendary writer Masato Kato. Yup, the guy who penned the Chrono series. Baten Kaitos is probably one of the most underrated RPGs of all time, with one of the best stories ever created in a JRPG. Number 2. .hack GU Last Recode. This is a remaster of the fabulous trilogy on the PS2, which now adds an extra little episode as Volume 4. You will be playing 3 deeply connected games and this final 4th challenge with Haseo. He is a player of the fictional MMORPG The World, where he befriends Ovan and Shino, becoming a part of their guild. Shino's character, however, dies at the hand of Triage, a twisted and distorted version of Kite, the main character of the previous 4 .hack games. You don't need to play those to understand this one. However, it'll be great if you could watch the anime Don't Hack Geo roots to fully comprehend Haseo, Ovan and Shino's relationship, as it is a direct prequel of the game. For the most part, Haseo will seek revenge against Tri-H for killing Shino's character and putting her player in a coma in real life. I'm a huge fan of this trilogy, which is one big and long game cut into 3 parts. Fantastic story, very detailed and also addictive gameplay with an excellent battle system. To me, this is yet another masterpiece, one that just so happens to focus, for the most part, on revenge. Number 1. Tales of Berseria. Yeah, it was predictable that probably the most famous JRPG about revenge to date will top the list. I love this fantastic game and it's already one of my absolute favorite tales I've ever made. We all know the crude and tragic story of Velvet and how her peaceful but sorrowful life is all ruined when her mentor and caretaker sacrifices her little sick brother. She then acquires a very dark power, which is nothing but a horrible curse, all to be thrown into a dungeon prison for 3 years. Becoming a vengeance addict, Velvet then rises to seek revenge against the man who ruined her entire life. Hard to believe a friendly series that's known for being light-hearted by nature could develop such a twisted plot. Velvet is one of the most interesting anti-heroines that strongly develops as a character throughout the entire game. But don't you ever dare to forget that she's there, first and foremost, for revenge. Alright guys, those were my 10 picks for today's video. Also, don't forget that my new book, fully translated to English, is finally out. It's a gothic horror, psychological horror story about the end of the world. That's right, link to it in the description below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends, so the algorithm doesn't fucking kill it again. See you next time.